In statistics, we have two different mean formulas. One is the standard mean formula, where you add up all the numbers and divide by the total number of numbers. And the other is the weighted mean formula. The weighted mean formula can be used in a couple of different ways, including finding the GPA, the grade point average, or the average or an average that involves a couple of items that contain many of each item. So maybe you have 2 or 3 different kinds of items, but there are hundreds each. So instead of trying to find the average of it, we can use the weighted mean formula. And I have an example with that at the end, so hopefully that will make more sense when we get to it. So let's look at some examples using the weighted mean formula. We're going to calculate the GPA of a student with the following classes and grades. The grades are based on the following scale, which are typical you'll find in colleges. A is worth 4, B is worth 3, C is worth 2, D is worth 1, and F is worth 0. I'm not doing the plus or minus, I'm just doing the standard A, B, C, D, F grading scale. So we have someone with E and C 1102, 3 credit hours and they got an A. Mac 1147, 4 credit hours, they got a C. PSY 1020, 3 credit hours, they got a D. And then HUM 2210, 3 credit hours, I got an A. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to add up the total number of credit hours. So just add all this up. Now put that here. So add the total amount up. So 3 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 is going to give me 13 total credit hours. So I'm going to save this for later. Now I'm going to multiply the credit hours by the letter grades. And again, I have the scale up here, so I'm going to change all of these letter grades here into their requisite numbers. So A is 4, C is 2, D is 1, and A is 4. If you had a B, it'd be 3. If you had a D, it'd be 1. So I'm going to multiply 3 times 4. That's going to give me 12. 4 times 2, 8. 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 4 is 12. And now I will just add all these up, and I'm going to end up getting a 35. So that is the hardest work you have to do for this whole question. The easy part here is we're going to take the total number that we got here, this 35, the bigger number. Hopefully, if your GPA should be good, it should be a fairly large 2-digit number. So 35, and we're going to divide it by the total number of credit hours, 13. And typically GPA is measured to 2 decimal places, so 35 over 13 is going to give you a GPA of 2.69. That is how you can calculate your GPA, just on the standard scale. Again, I'm not doing plus or minus, just the standard scale. That's how it's done. But we can also use the weighted mean formula in something like this. A student took 4 quizzes, each with a different weight. The scores and weights are given below. We're going to calculate the weighted average score. So we have 85, and the weight is 0.2, so 20%, 90, 0.3, 30%, 75.1, 10%, and 88.4, 40%. This adds up to 100%, as it should. So I'm going to take my 85 times 0.2, just multiply it straight across, and I am going to, let's see here, put a dot there to signify I am multiplying. So 85 times 0.2 is going to give me 17. 90 times 0.3 is going to give me 27. 75 times 0.1 is going to give me 7.5. And 88 times 0.4 is going to give me 35. Clean that up a little bit, 35.2. And now I just add them all up, and that will give me the weighted average. So when I add this whole thing up, 17 plus 27 plus 7.5 plus 35.2, I'm going to get a weighted average of 86.7. So that is my weighted average for all the quizzes that were taken by this student in this particular class. So a good average, 86, not bad. Last, we're going to do this one here. A farmer grows 3 types of crops and sells them at different prices. The quantities harvested and the prices are listed below. Calculate the weighted average price per unit. So we have corn harvested 300 at a price of $4 each. Wheat harvested 200 at a price of $3 each. And soybeans, quantity harvest 100, price per unit $5 each. Now, it could be pounds, could be kilograms, whatever. We're not too worried about that. We're just using this the basic formula to get used to it. So again, this will be kind of hard to do. 4 300 times, 3 200 times, 5 100 times to find the average. That's why the weighted average formula helps out so much. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the quantity harvested and just add them all together. So 300 plus 200 plus 100, that's just going to give me a nice even 600. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to multiply straight across. So 300 times 4, 1200. 200 times 3, that's going to give me 600. And then 100 times 5, that's going to give me 500. Again, I'm going to add all of these up, and I'm going to end up getting 2,300. Now again, that is all the hard work. And now I'm just going to do 2,300 divided by 600. And when you do that, you're going to end up getting an average price of $3.83, which makes sense. There's more dollar items than $5 items, so it should be just a smidge under 4, since 4 is in the middle between 3 and 5. So there you go. That's how you can use the weighted mean formula to find the average price of something that has hundreds of items, instead of having to do the average of the entire thing, which can be done and you would get this, but it would take you quite a long time to do.